Hi everyone, this is Mandy. Welcome back. And today I have something in my head that doesn't quite turn out like I have in my head. I probably should have done something a little bit simpler for a larger piece. This is a 10 by 20 gallery wrapped canvas, and I'm using my new spinner from Winterstrom Art, which is super cool. The base is 14 inches, and you can add those little legs and expand it out to, I think it's 3 feet. Anyway, it's big. So I'm in my big, huge puppy pool, and so it's taking me a lot longer to cover the paint on the canvas because I'm having to like climb over it. So I'm doing a black and white split base using the Bloom recipe. And in my mind, I had this like super classy swipe, negative space swipe, but you'll see that I end up using too much both too much pillow paint and too much paint. And so where I wanted it to be kind of a classy line in the middle, it ends up being very wide and the cells get too big. The colors are beautiful, but I'm still sharing with you because as we go bigger, these are some of our challenges. So first color I'm using here is Blue Black from Atelier Interactive, and it's a heavy body paint. I also use this paint as a cell activator in this swipe, I believe, mixed with Australian Floetrol. This is Frostbite, which is a beautiful PrizmPour color. It's like a frosty pale blue from Colourarte. And I do have a 20% off discount code for Colourarte in the description box below for anything on the website. This is Black Iris, which is a PrizmPour color from Colourarte, and it's so pretty. You can't even begin to see how multicolored the sparkle is just because of the angle I was at, but it's gorgeous. I also have a 10% off code from Pixel Paint Designs using Mandy10 if you need Australian Floetrol because it's a great price and it ships from in the US. So don't hesitate to check that out. And this color here is Platinum Rose, which is also a PrizmPour color from Colourarte. It is a gorgeous color. And I'm sorry about the glare of the light. This was a really big puppy pool, so I had to put it in a place where I had space, and that's where it was. So we got to do what we can. But life lessons for me, this is True Silver, PrizmPour from Colourarte. Life lessons for me, when you're going bigger, don't start with a split base. Like, don't do that to yourself because it's a lot more difficult to spread the paint than when you just use one color. Anyway, excuse me. I do add some carbon black from Matisse and some titanium white from Matisse, just kind of drizzling it in for some contrast. And you don't want all of your paint to be 100% sparkly. The cell structure just isn't as good if you don't kind of add a little bit of like a matte color and the sparkle. I did sprinkle on a little Chantilly lace from the bottle. That's not recommended. I just didn't have it mixed in my pouring medium, and so I just used a very small amount. But the PrizmPour paints are not ready to pour. They do need to be mixed with the pouring medium. So this is another little drizzle of Blue Black from Atelier. And I'm going to be swiping using a Blue Black Cell Activator on my Colourarte swiping tool. And this is a titanium white from Matisse. I maybe went a little heavy-handed on the white, but oh well. So just know when you see the outcome of this, it is not what I had in mind. Of course, that's the way art goes, right? And so then I tried to tweak it after it dried, and I really don't like what I did to tweak it either. So this may just be like one of those difficult life lessons, you know? So I don't recommend torching with the Bloom recipe. I did because I didn't have any more patience with bubbles. So you can see I didn't do a great job swiping that. It's too wide and there's not a lot of movement. It's just kind of like a straight line. That wasn't what I wanted. So that's where it starts going wrong. So as soon as I swiped right here, I knew that this was probably not going to go as I envisioned in my mind. I envisioned a much thinner stripe of color, which I should have known I wasn't going to get because look at all the paint I put down, right? So lessons learned. Plus, I like smaller cells in the initial swipe, and if they expand a little, they expand. But to me, that gives you more diversity in your swipe, and so you don't just get these giant cells that are crazy looking. So at this point, I'm realizing that really the only way I'm going to fix that is with a skewer. If I can have any of the movement go the right way. Sorry about my big head in the way. I obviously used a lot of Cell Activator, so I'm trying to get it to open up. And I am way outside of the puppy pool, so I'm having to like hover over it. So at this point, I'm honestly feeling a little discouraged in the pour, but love the colors, but this is not the idea that I had in my head. But obviously, you go bigger. It does take some time to adjust the amount of paint, kind of your strategy about how you lay it down. And of course, hindsight's 20/20, right? You go back and you're like, I could have swiped it this way, or I could have swooshed from one side and kind of come down and then swooshed from the other side and kind of, you know, it's really easy to look back on what you would have done. So here I'm trying to clean up the top and kind of smooth out some of those weird ripply lines from me trying to break up the surface tension in the Cell Activator. And honestly, I get the top to where I kind of like it. The bottom is where I feel like it stays kind of blocky. Now we haven't spun it all at this point, but on the bottom part, the side closest to me, on the top left from your view, I really love that part of the swipe. It's very flowy and all that, but that ends up being pretty much the only part I like on the bottom. Everything else looks like blocky, too straight. So after it dried, I went and took some True Silver from Colourarte, and I thought I'll paint a couple of streaks on the bottom. And then my freehand paintbrush skills are not great, so I end up overworking it, and it might look okay resined. Like the silver looks pretty, it's just the way I did it doesn't look pretty. So here you can see at the top, with the skewer, I kind of create some lines on the top that give the top some character. It kind of, if you look at it, it kind of makes it look like a horizon or whatever. That wasn't really my goal, but I guess now that it's kind of turned out that way, it's got to take what you get. But the bottom is the part that I really get a little bit tripped up on. So I probably should have left well enough alone. I don't know if I'm going to include that, what I did to it, so you can see it and let me know what you think at the end of the video. I'm still on the fence about that. But the colors are beautiful. I will probably try it again and maybe not do a two-tone swipe yet on such a large surface because I already have this problem of using way too much paint. But the spinner is super cool, just so you know. If you're going bigger and you want a spinner that's going to be functional without taking up all the space, Winterstrom's spinner is awesome, and she makes them herself. So, and she obviously does large pieces all the time, but it's great because you can hold on to the little leg. So when I was done, I pulled out, I have it on top of a, why can't I think today? Anyway, I have it on top of a mat, which was a little bit too big, so I probably will cut it down to 14 inches for this spinner. But when I was done, I basically pulled it out, wiped it off, and took the legs off and put it away. So, and I have it stored in the box, which is like 14 inches. So it's a very economical way to store something that can expand to your needs, but you don't have to have this 3-foot spinner out taking up space all the time. And it's very well made. So anyway, now I'm trying to do something with this part that I don't like on the bottom. And now that I look at it, after I totally messed it up yesterday, it's not my best work, but it bothers me less now that I know what it looks like when I try to fix it. Anyway, it is what it is. I may go back over it now where the silver is not brushed nicely and brush in some black, and I don't know what else to do. I feel like I've already really messed it up. The brushes I used to paint those sections in the bottom, they just didn't quite do the job that I wanted them to do. Usually when I add that kind of detail, I add it when it's wet, and that's what I should have done. I should have dipped my skewer into the silver and done that while it was wet, because then I would have had some interest and some really cool lines in with the painting the way it was, and I didn't do that. So, but you know, we learn. So at this point, I'm just trying to get some movement where I'm not seeing what I want, and I'm also trying to get enough paint off my canvas so it doesn't dry cracked. I'm going to bring you in for a close-up. All right, so here's our close-up. You can see the colors are beautiful. This is my favorite part of the whole thing right here. I don't like how overly large and floppy my cells got in the middle. My fault for using too much paint. The colors are great. You can see the sparkles outstanding. I like the top parts at the very top. I like this very end over here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So I know the angle's not great, but this is what I tried to do with the silver, and I don't think it fixed it. I don't know what you think, but I think I may go back in and try to soften that up with some black. Sometimes just leave well enough alone, I guess, huh? Let me know what you think. Do you hate the silver part? Is it better? I don't know. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.